Trustee meeting, April 24th, 2023. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Kent?
Here.
Mrs. Stevens? Here. Mrs. Santos?
Here.
At this time, I'll do introduction. Jim Hunshaw, our Director of Senior Center, is not here tonight. We have Todd Schaefer, our Park Supervisor. We have Chief Andy Frost III, our Fire Chief. We have Chief Bob Gavalier, our Police Chief. We have Darren Crivelli, our Zoning Inspector. We have Mike Dockery, our Township Administrator and Road Superintendent. We have our Fiscal Officer, Lori Wolf. Off to my right, we have Trustee Steve Kent. Off to my left, we have Trustee Robert Santos, and I am Trustee Monica Devers. Motion to approve the minutes of regular meeting of March 27th and special meeting of April 3rd, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
At this time, since there's such a large crowd here, I am going to take comments from the crowd, and it would be on camera first, and whoever would like to come up and speak, so that we can get the speaking part, so everybody can come up and start to speak. So the first person that would like to speak on camera today, can start. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Is this on any topic, Monica?
Right here, honey, and then you just go ahead and say.
Any topic?
What, honey?
Any topic?
What do you want to talk about?
I'm speaking in regards to the cemetery.
I need your name and address.
Janet Owens, 4191 New Road, Austintown. If I don't get through this, please bear with me. May 11th, May 21st, May 31st, and November 21st are and have been very important days of my life, as well as my deceased husband, which in your rules prohibits me from putting flowers or a wreath on his grave. I visit his grave because it brings me strength, it keeps his memory alive, it brings me comfort and peace. The last couple of months has not brought nothing but upheaval to my family's life, wondering who is stealing the wreaths, the American and the CB flags, which he was a CB and had time in the Vietnam War. That's why I'm asking you to reconsider changing some of the cemetery rules with some drastic changes and change your votes. Mr. Santos, thank you for your no vote. Monica, thank you for consideration. Mr. Kent, I still don't know where you're at. Also, please look into the accountability of why all of this mess occurred, which should have never happened and should have been taken care of right before it happened. I am one that never was able to say goodbye to my husband. He went to bed at 12:30 and was gone by 1:30. In this crazy world, please remember that we live in a democracy built with respect. And that was no respect shown in those desecrated graves that I've seen in the last 2 months. And we are a family that attends those graves, and not just Brunstetter. I have family at Brunstetter, I have family at Fort Mile Run, and I also have a man over at over on the new in the Cornersburg area, which I understand was just given to Canfield. And then I say to each one of you, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, and I hope not, a lot of you. But neither your ways are not my ways. And thank God, God gave me my ways. I leave that in your hands to make a good decision.
Thank you, Janet. Go ahead, sir.
Walker, 4492 Ball Road. I'm basically here just to let you know, we have a rain date for our 911 memorial located in Austintown on Raccoon Road for this upcoming Saturday, the 29th, because of rain this past Saturday, we had to cancel it. So if anybody wants to come out and get their hands dirty, or if in case Ohio decides to rain, you're more than welcome to come out. Other than that, I'd just like to thank Austintown Home Depot, Mr. Anthony Satarelli, the manager, Tim Bailey, and Pat Toole. Every year we go to this store, these folks up there, and they donate quite a bit equipment, tools, rakes, and again this year they donated over $500 worth of equipment so we can fix the arbors. So I just want to give a thanks out to them and to this Boy Scout troop. They've been there with us before. Some of us been there with us when they were Cub Scouts and had a tree planted. So if you're able to come out, stop up, help us out, so we can get this thing going again. Thank you.
When is that date?
29th,
What time, Sam?
9 o'clock.
Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
Hi, Patty DeSenza, 1821 Select Circle, Austintown, 445. I have my mom and dad buried in 4 Mile Run, and my sister at Brunswick. I went down there because I got a phone call from a friend. I knew nothing. When I went down there, the rocks were torn up. My nephew had made for his mother's grave at Brunswick wooden thing to go around it. He never went outside of that toilet, ever. I decorated it, and my husband cleaned it all the time. We went down there, and the bricks were thrown up. They dug up the boards that my nephew had put down for his mother. I think it's a shame that we can't put anything on my mom and dad and my sister. There was a big hole where they tore out the hospice. The hospice is a plant. My mom loved it. They tore it out. There was a hole there. That's all. To do this to these graves is sad. That's sad. I cried when we looked at these graves. And the rocks they threw out, those were decorated rocks. They look nice. If I want to bury somebody, I want to bury him in a place where everybody's nice. This was not. This was just destructive. So, thank you for listening.
Okay, sir.
Richard Fink, 4880 Woodhurst Drive. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here just like the vast majority of these folks. My father is buried at Brunstetter Cemetery. Lost my father 2.5 years ago to cancer. Watched this man wither away in front of me. And my father was very young when he passed away. Had just turned 60 and stood there and watched this. So for the last 3 months of my father's life, I watched him be able to do nothing but eat ice out of a cup with a spoon. We had my father buried at the cemetery. We're very happy with things. We had a grave marker that was in from the funeral home. Financially, we haven't had the resources to put a stone on his spot. My nephew, he was 13 years old, wanted to make sure that his grandfather had his cup and spoon. Because he knew that's all that kept him together for the last 3 months of his life. Put that on his grave. I assure you, that is gone. It was thrown away. Guys, I've been a paramedic and a firefighter for 23 years. You want to talk about breaking my heart? Horrific. On top of that, all of the edging, all of the plants, everything's pulled out and gone, okay? I understand where you guys say, well, or I'm not gonna say you guys, I apologize. I don't know who made the decision or who decided this was a good idea. My guess is we looked at mowing and said, well, we can make this quicker by taking everything out. We can zip around. Well, as if the insult to injury wasn't enough, I'm gonna pass these over to you guys. This is my father's grave marker. This is how I found my father's grave marker this morning at Brunstetter Cemetery. My father was a proud man. I watched that man battle to be respected and to see him disgraced the way that not only his marker has been disgraced, but numerous other headstones covered and caked in grass to the point you can't read them. So not only was everything torn up from around these graves that these people have all placed there in memory of their loved ones, we also go through, and now we can't even have the respect to run through behind there with a leaf blower and blow these stones off. And it wasn't one or two, it was every stone in there, guys. The only other thing I would tell you guys is this. When I drive through that cemetery now, that cemetery feels like death. I used to enjoy going through. I would see flowers, and you would see the good memories people have with their families. We don't have that anymore.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What time did you take those pictures?
I just took those at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
3 o'clock?
Actually, I can tell you exactly when I took them. I took them today. Because I wanted to go up again today to see what was there prior to going in. That picture was taken, I'm sorry, at 1:52 today.
1:52?
Because I can tell you this, there was a gentleman from the road department that was parked out back, and I went down and I said, excuse me, I said, do you know when the next trustees meeting is? He said, actually, it's tonight.
If it's I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off.
No, by all means, please.
If that was done at 1:15, that's not fixed, that's...
Thank you.
Guys, here's what I can tell you.
I can understand if they did it at noon, they
And
wouldn't
that's what I
watch
said,
it
if
came
they're
back.
still out there
But
working on it, it's one
Who
thing.
okayed it? Who okayed this?
To mow? Or
To do this to the
To
grave?
desecrate
Who
those resting
okayed
Well,
it?
yeah,
places.
and I was,
We want to know.
I was-
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's go with them first.
what I was doing, and I'm trying to handle things two separate ways. One was, am I off over the stuff that's all been put out there? Yes, I am. Very, very personal artifacts of our family's gone. I checked every trash can. I checked their pallets where it says don't dump, where they dumped everything. And it wasn't there. But on the second side, I said, let's pretend that none of us were angry about that. Then we're gonna do this too? There's no excuse for that. I'm sorry. I said, you know the funny part? I walked in here with my mom tonight. Did any of you folks see any grass on the sidewalk of the parking lot?
No!
I rest my case.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chris Terleski. I live at 3919 Elmwood Avenue. I brought you guys some more pictures. This is what the grave site looked like in the beginning. It was very well taken care of and manicured every week. Now that you guys had torn everything out, I made a picture there of what it's gonna look like when the grass does come up. And you tell me which one of those pictures is easier to take care of. I do this every day for a living. I would love to zip around that black plastic edging and probably not even have to weed whack. But now, they're gonna have to weed whack in between the headstones, around the headstones. And now there's nothing there to protect the headstones. Now we're gonna be having trouble with the mowers bashing into the headstones. I know what a weed whacker line does every day if you follow the same path. A telephone pole. It looks like it's gonna almost cut through a telephone pole. And we're gonna have this kind of damage to the headstones. You guys, I mean, it might have looked good on paper when you thought about running through, trying to save some time, but it's not gonna do it. And you're talking to a bunch of old school people here that they take this to heart, their loved ones buried. When I was growing up, when we would pull in the cemetery to visit Grandma, my dad would reach over, turn the radio off. Mom and Dad would tell me and my sister both, this is no place to play, no running around. That's how we were raised. And now to see you guys go in there and just disrespect everything, there's no other word. Disrespect the Navy veteran buried next to my mother. This gravesite has been done like this for 12 years. When Dave Bokish was the head of the road, I watched him put my mother in the ground. And I told him, I said, Dave, when you're done, I said, I'm gonna put something around there for her. He says, go ahead. He says, I know anything that you do will look great. I've taken care of that for 12 years. And just like this gentleman said, every week, grass was blown in the rocks, blown all over the top, all over the front and back of the headstone. Did I ever call you guys one time in 12 years? No. Get a bucket of water down there, wash it all off, hands and knees, pick the grass out of the rock, blow it out with the blower. I made a special trip every week to go past there and make sure that was clean. You guys gotta stop and think about this. It's just tearing people up. These people all have loved ones in there. People mourn different. The woman with all the hanging baskets, do you know how hard it is to grow those hanging baskets in the sunlight? You miss one day of watering and they're trash. She's down there every day watering them flowers. So you guys just gotta think about this, man. And I would love to put mine back and make it beautiful again. Thank you very much.
My name's Robert Sutton. My address is 5405 West Rockwell Road. And I'd like to give maybe a little history. I'm 77 years old, and I'm the headstone giver of the Sutton family. Bottom line is, back in 1950, 70-some years ago, a gentleman by the name of Glenn Evans, Mr. Frost should know that name, very first fire chief in Austintown, bought 12 lots at Runstead. 6 lots to him and 6 lots to my dad, who was one of the first volunteer firemen in Austintown Township back in the 50s and 60s. My dad passed away in 1964, very young. And of course he used one of those lots down there. Since then, my mother and my brother are there. I maintained those lots in the headstone. I bordered with brick. At least 4 times a year, I planted new flowers. I have a sister that lives in Florida, and she says that cemeteries are for the living, not the dead.
Amen.
I totally disagree. Cemeteries and headstones are for the living, but they're also for the respect of the dead. have taken that respect of a lifelong resident out. You've taken me out. My brother Jim still lives here. My mother and father graduated from Austintown Fish in 1936 and 1935. And this is the respect you've given them. If you're not going to do anything about reversing your decision, then I want to know, by Robert's Rules of Order, how we can petition you three to reverse that decision. Whether it's a 50% rule, a 66 2/3%, somehow you should not have the right to be the authoritarian of my property.
Right.
That's my property.
I'll take my dad.
Again, my name's Robert Sutton, and I'd be glad to speak with anybody at any time. Thank you.
Maureen Fedorovich, 5118 East Viola Avenue. I'm going to speak on two parts this evening. One, I'm going to speak on behalf of myself. I'm going to address also the cemetery rule change, but more importantly, the manner in which it was handled. I'm deeply saddened, heartbroken, and quite frankly disgusted, more importantly appalled in the manner in which these changes have taken place. When my father was buried at Brunstetter Cemetery 4 years ago, I specifically asked what rules, what we could do, can I put across here? We were told you could do anything you want as long as it was respectful, kept neat, and kept beautiful. The proper way to notify your residents of a rule change would have been to mail a typed letter to all and everybody that owned a plot at both of those cemeteries. But instead, a typed letter with some handwritten words were placed in a Ziploc bag and zip-tied to grave markers. Whose brilliant idea was this? And might I add that not every grave received one of those. Therefore, not everyone was notified of the rule change. This was callous and unprofessional at best. There was no timeline, no date provided in order for people to have a chance to remove any of their personal, but more importantly, sentimental items that were on these graves. What did occur? Let's talk about what did occur. In the first most beautiful week of wonderful weather that we had, following Easter, I might add, when Christ has risen, the road department took it upon themselves to go out and desecrate our cemeteries. Sickening. They ripped out pavers, edging, benches, stones, bushes, plants. They threw away crosses, lambs, Virgin Marys, solar lights, shepherd hooks, amongst many other memorial items that were important to people. There was also, and this might be one of the most disgusting things I've seen, there was also the removal of a grave marker that's discarded still to this day over by wooden pallets in the trash at the back of Brunstetter Cemetery by those wooden pallets. It's photographically documented. It's on my phone, I have pictures, and it's all over Facebook. All of these items were placed in trash bags, trash bins, on the side of the road of the cemeteries, or on wooden pallets. My father's grave is there. My father's grave is very important to me. That's his final resting place. At a time when my father's death is still to this day very difficult for me. I go there to talk to him when I can't think for myself. My father helps me get through every day. My father served this country for the very breath that we breathe today. He was a Navy Seabee, he fought in the Vietnam War. He died as an exposure to Agent Orange. I don't take that lightly. Our veterans are the heart and soul of this country, and if people don't believe that, get the hell away from me. I wear these soft hats every day as pride died in honor of who that man was. He was not only my father, he was my hero, he was my best friend. He has a Vietnam Veterans Medallion that sits in the grave by his stone. It's nationally recognized and issued. It was stolen from his grave on April the 12th. Upon filing a police report, I got a phone call from Detective Hevner who told me that Bill Antel from our road department removed it because it did not follow the rules of the new cemetery rules. Well, I asked what rule was that? The rule of the cemetery is that the military medallions are to be placed in a metal holder. Well, I have the new rules, I obtained the new rules, and nowhere in there does it say that the military medallions have to be placed in a metal holder. Nowhere there. Took me 8 days to get that back. 8 days. And what did he do? He put it back in a metal holder. The galvanized holders, whoever brilliant idea that was, when you have a galvanized piece of steel, galvanized steel is great. Once you cut it, galvanized dipping is lost. It will rust. That galvanized steel pipe that's in the ground rusted in the first hour it was out there. And they're all rusted. And don't tell me they're not. I walked the entire Brunstetter Cemetery and I looked at every single one of them, and every single one of them are rusted. They look stupid and they look horrible. I personally do not want my father's there. The military medallions that are out there, they're given to families when a veteran passes away and they are to be placed at their grave. These medallions are metal and they are in fact a flag holder. So what do we need to put them in yet another holder? On March 21st, I wrote a letter to all 3 trustees and our administrator, road superintendent. And I want to personally thank Trustee Santos and Trustee Devers for reaching out to me and listening to my concern. Trustee Kent and Administrator Dockery, I say this to you. Shame on you. Shame on both of you. You are hired and elected to represent Austintown Township in a professional manner, and you have both failed the Austintown residents.
Yeah.
I implore all 3 of the trustees at this point to have some compassion and professionalism and make things right. A simple apology at this point, it will not do. We, the residents of Austintown, are presenting the trustees with some ideas of compromise to these cemetery rules. We are asking that you take the time to sit together, consider all of our feelings, our anger, but most importantly, our heartache, because we are hurting. We ask that you seriously consider our thoughts and our ideas, and we pray that together we can reach an amicable resolve to enable the residents of Austintown to feel great about being a resident of Austintown and restore the sense of community that Austintown once had. With that, I'd like to give all 3 trustees, these residents met last evening, and we come up with some ideas of what we feel would be some compromise. We, the residents of Austintown Township who have loved ones buried at Brunstetter and 4 Mile Run Cemetery, hereby request the following. The person or persons who desecrated the cemeteries be held accountable via disciplinary action. We want to know, and this is most important for me, we want to know who authorized the desecration of both cemeteries.
Yes.
Because I was told they were ordered to stop, and guess what? They're not stopping.
Right.
There's one man, Mr. Bill Antel, who's out there every damn day taking stuff off people's grave after he was ordered to stop doing it. In my opinion, that man has no business working for this township.
Exactly.
And we would like the rules changed and compromised in the following ways. 1, the pavers edging benches that have been there for years because we were told we were allowed to do it be grandfathered in with the expectation that they will be maintained by the owner of the plot. Meaning if somebody wants to go back and restore their graves the way that they were, they'd be allowed to do so and grandfathered in as long as they maintain them. 2, if anybody wishes to put a 2 to 3 foot paving or edging border area, either in front or behind the headstone, so that the loved ones can place a shepherd's hook, a cross, a solar light, plant a small bush, a flower, rocks, or mulch, with the expectation that they will be maintained by the owner of the plot. 3, we would also like the freedom to place a wreath or flowers at the grave, not only at Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, 4th of July, and Veterans Day, but did anybody, when they created these rules, forget that Memorial Day is a national holiday? We would like Memorial Day, Labor Day, as well as our loved one's birthday, anniversary of their passing, and wedding anniversary. All of these days are important to grieving family members. Veterans medallions should stand alone, not to be placed in a galvanized steel conduit pipe that has been cut, which is rusting, providing the medallion is metal and not plastic. These medallions are nationally distributed with the sole purpose of a flag being placed. All veterans, if a family chooses, have the American flag flown 365 days a year out of respect
Right.
to their service and during battle to provide the very freedom that we enjoy today. And I'm submitting this respectfully from the Austintown residents dated today, and we've all signed it.
Yes, we did.
Amen.
Thank you. Great job. Great job.
Go ahead, honey.
Milton Smart, 4020 Bad Lane,
I'm sorry. What was your name?
Milton.
Thank you.
My parents, grandparents, and my husband is in 401. I got relatives at Brunstetter. I drove through, my flag holder is gone off my husband's grave. Not happy. My dad was still there. And when I was reading the rules, every veteran that's in here, it says no light on the graves. I always put a light over the flag because you're supposed to put a light on a flag.
That's
right.
And my husband would be rolling in his grave. If he knew he's being disrespected. He was a Vietnam veteran. My dad was CB's 109. And they should be allowed, it's a law, you gotta put a light under a flag. And those little solar lights are not much, they're $1. You know, give us the dignity to respect the flag. You know, I went through there and I was devastated. With the fence half down, the other fence, car went through it. It's all messed up. It's like, not happy. Because those are our loved ones that left us. We show them the respect to take care of them, even though they went to eternal life. But we have the right to respect their graves and decorate them in a well-mannered thing. Nothing gaudy, nothing stupid. But a few flowers and a light over a flag. That's all I ask. Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve Perlecki, 5600 Cidermill Crossing.
What is your name?
Am I to assume that we can talk about anything right now? Okay. First of all, I stand and I support this whole group of folks who've had loved ones at that funeral, at that cemetery, and understand the issues. I too have a 12-week-old granddaughter that died that we buried in that area, and we lost Nothing major, but we had balloons we used to put up every time her birthday was there. So I understand what they've done, and I think it's very wrong.
Thank you.
Now, my other issue is I missed last month's meeting because there wasn't really a lot that was going on last month. Steve's still here, so we know that.
Yeah.
But we had a remark, and you can roll your eyes, but I'm not letting this go, because I think there's a lot of people that feel the same way I do. Last month, the meeting that I was here, we talked about the ABC water, and you explained it. And then someone asked about $37 that would cost us. And my question to you, or my question to this board, is why do we have to pay money for a storm system? We've had money from the previous administration. We had a mild winter. You didn't spend any overtime for trucks or anything like that. And we pay enough money in taxes in Austintown that we have to deal with $37, which don't sound like much, but still, why again are we taking it out of our pockets? If that's the case. That may not be the case because you brought it up and we couldn't ask the question, so I'm asking that question. And then I heard this story about roofs and driveways. We shouldn't have roofs and driveways on our house? That sounds like the silliest thing I ever heard, and we're going to have a meeting on Wednesday at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Fitch. I mean, we're looking silly. It's bad enough we have a trustee that has issues, but now we're really looking silly to everyone around us that sees the story that we're desecrating these cemeteries of our loved ones. And then we're going to pay for a sewer, ABC or whatever, and then we're talking about roofs and driveways. That's all I have to say. It's getting ridiculous what you folks are doing, and I hope some changes are made, at least make some of us happy, because right now, there's this whole room that's not happy.
A lot more.
And a lot more.
A lot more.
And I'm planning on my
Go ahead,
grave.
sir. Go ahead, sir.
For what they say.
No problem.
They work at 669 Horseman Street, Youngstown. I've lived in Austintown all my life. I'm 75 years old. I grew up on Fairview Road. A lot of times, I get in a little trouble at school. I had to walk home. My mother has been in that cemetery since she was 69. I think that's like 60 years ago. I used to walk by and see my mother, and I'd see the cemetery look beautiful. Look beautiful. I got a daughter and a son been in her. My daughter was in that Cleveland clinic for 14 weeks. My wife took care of him. My son was in an auto accident. He was in a nursing home inside every hospital, probably in Youngstown and Cleveland and Canton and everywhere, for 27 years. We took care of him. My wife is a nurse. We go up 5-6 times a day. I've heard people, I'm not well liked at that cemetery. I was up there one day when there's somebody starting to take this stuff away. I had 3 windmills, one of my sisters, one of my dad's, and one of my mom's. They're gone. I looked around, everybody else's stuff's there. Mine's in the trash. So I went down and put them back in the trash. I seen the truck was there, nobody around. They're up the old cemetery. So I went up there and I asked the guy, I said, what's going on here? Oh, I took it out. We're supposed to take all this stuff out. I said, well, it seems funny. He took mine out, but nobody else's. I've also heard of people talking about me and my wife going there 3 or 4 times a day sometimes to see our children. We live on North Turner Road, very close, and we were very close with our children. And I don't know, have you ever go up there and watch some people cut the grass? It's like they're on bulldozers. Go up there and look at the headstone.
Shifted everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't believe what the headstones look like. Another thing, my daughter, when she was buried, when we got the stone put on her, it was like 2 foot down towards her feet from where it was supposed to be, from her head up. took 9 years to get that stone put back where it should have been in the first place. 9 years. We got 11 plots up there. I don't know. You know, we got a lot of families that probably need them plots, but I don't know about them going here anymore with the way things are going. That used to be a beautiful cemetery. I've seen it many, many years. I hope things get changed back to the way they were.
Is there anyone else that would like to come up?
I don't necessarily want to go back to the mic, but I asked you a question. How do we reverse your decision? I don't know if you're going to give me that answer now. Are you?
No, we're gonna have to probably have a meeting, like all three of us.
Okay.
And have a meeting.
And let me help you.
Or,
Okay? I'd like to make a motion that the letter that Ms. Reynolds has presented to you be indoctrinated and enforced now. Is there a second to that motion? All in favor, say aye.
we can't,
Opposed, say no.
we cannot do that, I'm
The
sorry.
ayes win.
Why not? This is a public meeting.
He's right.
Can I say something, Mr. Goldman? This is just my opinion. This, obviously, I'm not gonna money one quarterback anything. Why can't we have a special meeting where us three and the residents who have concerns can have an actual round table? So instead of us just deciding what's going on, it's only 25 residents. I don't think that's gonna be a significant amount that's gonna hinder the road department.
We never seen that letter to sign.
I never saw it.
Well, my point was,
And then my question is, since I own 6 lots, or do I get 6 letters?
bear with me 1 second. What I'm saying is, this is not all the lots that are in the cemetery. I think this is just a small amount, whatever we do come up with, it's not gonna hinder the road department. I would like to see if we can have a special meeting where we can.
That's what I just
condone
said.
it. That's what I'm saying, can we set one up today?
And find out who's accountable also, please. Who authorized this? We need to know.
Ultimately, it's the trustees, so if you guys wanna look at someone to hang, you can hang me. I mean.
I got a noose in my car.
So that's-
Yeah, go get
Can
a
we
public
sign that
hanging.
letter even though we weren't at the meeting last night? As cemetery people that weren't at the meeting? Because there's like hundreds of cemetery people out there, not just the ones that are here.
Not next Monday?
I don't think you'd want to go to Burn Center.
And you cannot do
The
it.
place is
on Thursday.
disgusting and a shame.
Either this Thursday or any of the Thursdays in May.
Okay.
So any other days,
That's like, yeah, Zoom
not
on Thursday,
Monday,
don't you?
no Thursdays. Yeah. I've got that.
So if you want, well, you don't have to like this second, I understand we have a whole meeting to go through, but can we at least have an answer before we all get in our cars and leave? So we can present to them, let them know what day we all can meet and actually.
Yeah, let's not drag it out for a month.
Before it ends, can I have to ask a couple questions that I need to have answered? First of all, I don't know why you couldn't have a meeting. If you revised those, and evidently somebody had a meeting, so why couldn't you just have a meeting instead of going through all of this and revise them again? That makes more sense than we're going through all this, you're talking about 2 or 3 months. So if you revise those from 1992, and they were just revised 30 years later, why couldn't you have another meeting and revise them again? People do it every day. Rules are made to be revised. If you make a mistake, and all of you are saying, all 3 of you made a mistake, and I can guarantee you, I bet you never even saw those until you voted for them. Because you couldn't have, because that day in this town is so important in the veterans' eyes. I don't think either one of you, any one of you can look me in the eye and say that you read those before you voted on them. And second of all, which I found straight, and maybe you can answer this. I talked to Mr. Antal several times, and he told me that the graves over in, I don't know what you call it, but it's in Cornersburg. I always call it the Cornersburg grave. That was given away to Canfield that belonged to Austintown. Mr. Santos didn't know about it, and last night Monica Devers. Mr. Kent, did you know it was given away?
No.
Mr. Dockery?
We didn't give the property away, it's a Canfield Township property. We
Okay,
just
but
gave
who's-
up maintenance responsibility for it.
Okay, so you have nothing to do with it anymore?
That's correct.
Okay, but none of these trustees knew about
The
it?
other two then.
I had to call here and call Canfield to find out that I had another grave over there with an uncle to be buried there. That you could not tell these 3 trustees, or nobody in this township knew about it but you? That appalls me. And then Mr. Antal tells me he runs the road department. You 3 don't make any decisions. And that's what's happening. Your road department, and I don't know about the other department heads, are they really accountable to you? Is this what's going on in this township? That disgusts me because I never, and I've been here my entire life too. I've been set 21 years of it. So think about those things. When you answer to people, you can do it. And parliamentary procedure, Mr. Sutton, you're right. It's not being followed here. You better get a book or you better get a parliamentarian. Because I've watched every meeting and I can tell you, you're not doing things the right way. You better get it done. Because you're going to be called on it. I'm going to call you on it every day after a meeting. I can tell you mistake after mistake because I have them written down at home.
Again, I'm asking a question. And that is, what is your response to Ms. Reynolds' letter or my motion? And I don't believe you have the right not to take my motion.
That's right.
Sir, these are the elected officials.
Pardon?
These are the elected officials. They will
Elected
make
by these
motions and
residents.
resolutions based on what they believe is appropriate and within the law. You people have all presented a very good question, but please understand, there's nothing on this agenda that states they're going to pass a motion to approve anything. Let them set a meeting, let them go through whatever testimony they want to take. They'll take into consideration what you've presented or what Mrs. Fedorovich presented, and then let them make a decision. But
Is Austintown
tonight, you
Township-
want the time
Point of
for
order,
them
point of order.
to do that.
Okay, point of order. I was an elected union rep for many years, 50 of them, okay? And when a motion is made at a public forum, it's either to be accepted and it's not ever rejected. If they don't like it, they can vote against it.
Sir, they're talking about setting a meeting to deal with this issue where an agenda will go out.
Then that's all she's got to say, that they're going to have a meeting after this meeting?
No, they're trying to figure out.
No, let her answer. Are you the trustee?
No, I'm not.
Thank you.
I've tried to answer, sir. I said that we will get together and have a meeting, and all 3 of us will discuss it and further make a meeting for you to come and listen, and we'll go by that way. We're not, or you could get one trustee, Bill Antal and Mike, and y'all can get together and figure it out if you would rather do it that way. But-
Here's a question. This is what I want to lay out, okay? Right now, can we tonight, and again, I don't know how this works with you guys. I understand what you're saying, Robert's Rules of Order, absolutely, and I agree with you. Is this going to continue happening? Anything said at that cemetery, at these cemeteries right now, is it going to keep getting tore out? Or can you tell us tonight that they're going to stop this madness until this meeting can be set up and this decision can be made?
Right.
That's what we need to know, is that we just want to make sure.
I'll make a motion that we stop without taking care of the land properly. Okay? I'll make a motion that we stop pulling everything out until we have this meeting.
They did,
That was supposed to
Well, guess what? I don't know who told you that.
He did.
I did.
Austintown did.
Okay.
And Monica Devers agreed with
Okay.
him. And Bill Antal was told to stop pulling stuff out, and he's been doing it for 2 weeks.
Well, I apologize, I wasn't aware of that.
So I just made it official, okay?
Oh, we have to.
That's how it's done up here. I do apologize, but that's how it's done.
Not acceptable.
All right? As of
Can
right now.
you in a timely manner to
We'll make it.
We're not dragging.
We will try to get it as soon as possible. As soon as all three of us can get together, we will try to have that as soon as we possibly can.
Okay, that's
Okay, we
fair.
already know that we can't do it next Monday, so
And we can plant Memorial Day, so I'm ready.
Oh, I'm planting, I'm planting.
You want to go?
Don't worry about it.
Are we
I voted.
having on for Mother's Day? That's coming.
We're putting it on it, we're putting it on, and I don't dare dog anybody to take it on.
yes.
Another thing about these solar lights, whose idea was that to get rid of them? I can pass that cemetery after dark and it's beautiful with the lights on. That's respect for our people.
We're gonna take care of all that, we're gonna have a date today, we will have a date for when that meeting is. And I would hope that we agreed that it would be a round table with us three and the residents, we can have their input as well. I think that would be awesome.
That sounds good, good.
Thanks.
That's a deal.
Take pictures of all your
We're
Mother's Day
holding
stuff.
you
and put it
accountable.
up.
I'd just like to bring to attention that I feel as if I'm very young to a lot of residents here. I'm 36 years old. Go ahead.
Okay,
Lori Kemp, K-I-H-M. Age 36. I just want basically my voice to be heard. I've been tending to my uncle's grave since I was 9 years old in 4 Mile Run. My grandfather passed away 2 years ago. I purchased plots for myself at the age of 33 years old at 4 Miles with the graciousness that I was going to be able to continue to decorate my family's plots, and hopefully my family, that I have a 1 and a 2-year-old, could continue to visit my graves and carry on basically a legacy of honor for the deceased of our family. It was brought to my attention when I pulled in. I visit at least twice a week, to be honest with you. I pulled in January 19th to a sign. There was still snow on the ground. I walked up to my grandfather and grandmother's graves, and there had been a box that my brother and I had made together, manufactured together to put down there. And lo and behold, it wasn't bagged up nice like everybody else's stuff. It had been tossed to the lot next door that had not even been graded yet. Still snow. The ground never did freeze this year, but it's in pieces. I'm very disappointed in the road crew or whoever did that. My brother and I took time and effort to build that box that we were allowed to have, and then when I go to visit, it's in shambles. And not only was it not next to the stone, it was thrown into the property that you guys have purchased to extend 4 Mile Church, or excuse me, 4 Mile Cemetery, and start selling plots. I feel as if I have been a victim of the road department. My uncle, again, I've been visiting since I was 9 years old. He died in '96. His stones had been damaged. We replaced them on a regular basis because whomever is responsible for mowing, the stone has been shifted numerous times. We've asked to have it put back on. The new rules state now that you want metal digger holders. Are you guys willing to re-pad the stones at your cost to put those next to the stones? Or are you willing to purchase what you want in that cemetery for us to be able to honor our loved ones? I just don't understand how you can take something that we have given out of love and devotion, or you just threw it away, is what you did. You didn't care. If it was your family, would you throw a bitch about it too? Like I said, I'm young. I see all these faces. You guys are old. I'm young. I'm serious. I have to purchase my plot to be with my family. I'm actually thinking about selling for the simple fact that if my growing up, I don't want to be there.
Just put the road crew's name on a marker and put it down.
Well, here about your road crew. I live on East Webb Road. Your road department what's going on at the end of my road.
That's exactly what they
There's
do.
construction vehicles that go up. They don't come back down. I spent $10,000 of my hard-earned money last year redoing my own backyard because all the debris of whatever's going on at the end of Webb Road ended up in my culvert, plugged me up, flooded me out. My investment of $10,000 was worthless. I still have barrels coming down my creek. I still have railroad ties, and I still have trees coming down. Explain to me. I don't understand. What is the project that's going on at the end of Webb Road? If you can explain to me that, and why all this debris that I can present to you pictures, I didn't bring them today, is ending up in my backyard, in my culvert.
Ma'am, let me try to answer your question.
Please do.
In the state of Ohio, logging is an agricultural activity, is exempt from local regulation. They log that, and I've been told
Who
not
logged that?
the property owner.
Okay.
And this is what I've been told. The property owner hasn't told me, but the people doing the logging told me.
Penn, Ohio owns that, correct?
No, Penn, Ohio is across the highway.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was the residual of the property you're talking about, Penn, Ohio.
Okay.
Let me take that back. You're right, Penn, Ohio. I'm thinking Penn National, I'm sorry.
Penn, Ohio.
Yeah, and there's a farm up on County Line Road, and it's the same ownership. And what I was told by the loggers, not the ownership,
Okay.
is that they're gonna put livestock back there.
Okay, so why is debris that was logged 2 years ago still floating down my creek?
I'm clueless. I don't know, but I'd be more than happy to meet
Okay,
with you.
I've also had the water tested, and I'm very close to calling the EPA. I can't even feed my livestock with that creek water now that it's been contaminated.
Okay, all I can tell you is, this is the first I've heard of it. And I'm not with the EPA.
Correct.
But if I thought the EPA needed to be notified
I think
on
that
the
we do.
issue. Well, I will meet with you with the representatives of the county engineer who works with me on EPA items, but that is what they're doing, and that's what I was told, that it's going to become basically a farm for livestock. And if you look at the south end of it, we're betting dead ends. You look at the wood, the way they cut it, the way they stacked it, that's probably going to be for fencing. It's a very large piece of property.
It is very large.
Yeah.
Like I said, the
Yeah,
debris is
and I'm
ending up
aware of the
in
stream.
my backyard.
I'm
Nobody
aware of the
else's.
stream that goes through it. You live on the south side of Webb?
Yes.
Okay. I'll be more than happy to meet with you, just, if you're gonna stay up to the meeting, I'll give you my card and we'll just work out that. But we'll look at the property with somebody a little bit smarter than me that works for the county engineer that deals with environmental issues. But honestly, this is the first time there's an elderly gentleman who lives south who's more upset just about them doing the logging, but this is the first I've heard of that.
Right.
And not that I can solve your problem, but I can look into it and try to get it resolved.
I would appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
When I was a kid, we used to play back there behind the cemetery. Treehorns lived next door. He had horses down in there. And up at the other end, behind the old cemetery, there was tombstones laying over the creek in that. I don't know if we should have took care of it back then. But you're talking about the junk that's in the cemetery you want us to replace. My son and daughter in the back corner of that, where all your junk's at that you put in and out of there. What do you think I feel like looking in there with piles of junk everywhere? And another thing, is that your property where you're pushing that junk over into? Or is that somebody else's property?
We wouldn't have any idea.
It's ours. It's a cemetery property. It's ours.
I would like to get something done back there, so it looks pretty good like the rest of the place.
Is there anyone else that would like to come up and speak at this time?
I can't walk well, I'd rather not come up, but there are meeting last...
You have to state your name at least.
Linda Martin, 6694 Smith Street. one of the girls last night was saying that she was at the cemetery visiting, and an old man was walking around a grave there. And all of a sudden, somebody that was working there came and said, "Hey, you need to move your car. We have work to do here." So the little man got in his car and left. That was no way to speak to anybody there. I just felt very, very badly about it.
I've been accused of being in there 3 or 4 times a day that I block traffic too.
And we never do.
We don't. We move. From an employee of the cemetery.
Anybody else? How about off camera? Anybody? Off camera, please. Okay, by Tracy Stika from the Mahoning County Public Health. Thank you for being patient and waiting for us, Tracy.
That's okay.
And you stand here and you'll
You go up there.
I do have some handouts
You
too.
can set the handouts there, we'll make sure everybody sees them or wants to grab one. She has handouts, if anybody would like them.
Hi, good evening. Tracy Stika, I'm with Mahoning County Public Health. We are your public health agency for the residents of Mahoning County. Just wanted to mention some of our nursing and community health programs that we have for the residents. I do have a number of brochures. One of our brochures just lists all of our programs and services that we have. We have environmental health services, but we also have our nursing and community health services. The other brochure we have does kind of talk more in detail about our maternal and child health services. We have a number of services that provide maternal health, maternal services that provide services for pregnancy programs. It improves pregnancy health. Sorry, I'm just sitting here listening to everybody for so long. So it improves pregnancy health. So anybody who has a pregnancy, it improves maternity. Sorry. It improves mortality. It improves birth outcomes. It improves birth weight. It just improves the health of the pregnancy of the moms. We have immunization services. So if anybody needs immunizations for your infants, we have, let me look through here. We have cribs. We have, last year in 2022, we had 5 infants in Mahoning County that died just from unsafe sleep deaths. So we provide cribs for families if they need a safe sleep environment. So there's a number of services that we provide that help with the health of these moms and babies when they're having trouble and things that they need. So we have a Pathways Hub program, we have an OEI program. They all help these moms provide the services that they need if they're having trouble with transportation to get to their appointments, to their OBGYNs, if they're having trouble getting to their, if they need help getting to their doctor's appointments, getting to the grocery stores, if they need help getting pregnancy tests. So we have these different programs that get the moms and get the families to the services they need. Do they need drug support if they're having trouble with substance abuse? So there's different services that we provide through these different programs that help these moms, that help these families to get to the services that they need. So those are the Pathways Hub program, that's the OEI program. We also have the WIC program. The WIC program, a lot of people are probably familiar with the WIC program, which provides nutrition services to the families. That's the supplemental nutrition program. And they also provide vouchers for farm markets during the summer, so that improves the nutrition programs for the families throughout the county. Some of our other nursing programs are, I mentioned the immunizations for our infants. We also have immunization programs for adults. and immunizations for foreign travel. So if anybody is going out of the country, if they're going to other countries, there's lots of immunizations you might need for those other countries. We provide those immunizations.
Do you still do rabies titers?
Yes, we do pre-exposure or post-exposure to rabies.
I was vaccinated like 10 plus years ago and I need my titers done this year.
Is there a reason that you're exposed to it? Are you like a
veterinary medicine? Yes.
Okay, yes, you can call our office for things like that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So those are some of our maternal and child health programs. We have a TB program, so there's a flyer on our TB program. That's more of a preventive services to keep TB out of the community. So all of the TB services are free for county residents. And the other thing over there is information on our Project Dawn program that provides Narcan for community residents. Narcan is for opiate overdoses. Anybody who has an overdose, if you give Narcan, if they're having that opiate overdose, Narcan, if they're having that opiate overdose, it stops them from breathing. If you provide Narcan during that overdose, you give them the Narcan, that restores their breathing. You can get Narcan free of charge. You just need to watch a 16-minute video that's on our website and fill out the intake form, and as long as you're a Mahoning County resident, you can get, we can mail the Narcan to you, to your home. So that's some of our programs that we have through the Mahoning County Public Health. Sorry about that. After I got going, I got a little bit better there, but yeah. Any questions?
Do you have any program for like just general health, so that they could come and for any kind of general problem or anything like that? Is there any kind of programs on that?
What do you mean general health?
Like if they come in and they're just sick or anything like that?
No, we don't have like nursing services per se. We don't do like doctor visits, things like that. Right now, Austintown, we're doing a falls prevention program that we have going on down at Stacy Pavilion. So we do have some preventative programs that we do. We have about 10 residents that are taking part of that. So thank you to the county or the township for providing the Stacy Pavilion for the Stacy Pavilion for that.
And then are all these programs free to the public that you were talking about?
Most programs are free. Yeah. So Narcan's free, the TB services are free. Yeah, there's really most things are free of charge. So if there's anything that's cost anything, there's minimal charges to them.
So thank you very much for coming. Thank you.
Chief got
We both have.
Oh, Bill.
Peter got first. I just want to thank her for over the past several years for the Narcan that our officers use.
Yes.
They give it to us for free of charge, so I want to thank you for that.
Yes, we've worked with the police department for a number of years. Yep.
And I just want to say, this probably isn't your division within the Board of Health, but within the Board of Health, I'd like to thank Ryan and his field inspectors. The trustees a while back tore down a house at 1515 Maple Crest at the Board of Health. Placard is uninhabitable, and that house has been vacant for 4 or 5 years. It was a mess, and you guys came to our rescue because it was still structurally there. Eventually, it would have deteriorated, but you guys stepped up to the plate and declared it uninhabitable. The trustees knocked it down, and we're greatly appreciative of that and the working relationship we have with the Board of Health.
Our community partners, we love our community partners. We can't do what we do without our community partners. So, you know, thank you for everything you guys do to help us do our job. So I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. At this time, we'll have our administration report.
Just two things. One, under new business A, there's a motion to approve a resolution prohibiting the use of engine brakes within the township. This was the result of the noise wall that ODOT, I don't know, when was that supposed to go, 24, 25?
I think they moved it.
It's at least 24, if not later. Anyway, that noise wall is going up on the west side of State Route 11 from Mahoning Avenue, I think about 700 feet to the south. And when they do a noise wall, they want engine brake signs put up in that same area so that, you know, the wall, putting up the wall isn't defeated by trucks using their engine brakes, creating more noise. So that's the reason for that notion there.
So are we doing that motion now?
You can do it now if you want.
You leave on the new, that was under new, right?
Yeah, new business on A.
Are we doing it? No. Motion to authorize participant in the ODOT winter contract 23-24 for the road and salt 3,000 tons for attachment.
Second.
Mr. Peck? Yes. Mrs. Deaver? Yes. Mr. Santos?
Yes.
The petition to receive from 7 to 10 parcel owners on Barrington Court to consider no parking on the fire hydrant side of the township road. Go ahead.
So wants to make a motion, and then Mr. Peters wants to speak on it.
Yeah, hold on, Mr. Butis.
I want to give you a little bit of...
Hold on.
Hold on 1 second. I'll second.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
You have to wait.
No, don't we have to wait?
He's going to discuss.
Yeah, then we'll go back.
I would like to give you some information before you vote on that. I was the originator of the petition. My name is Mike Butis. I live at 2604 Barrington Court. I lived there 47 years. Not quite the old years. One other lady that's lived there a little longer. But what I've seen in the past 2 years is really got my attention. I have been almost in an accident twice at the intersection. Two of my other neighbors have been almost in an accident there because of cars that are parked there. It's a difficult situation, and this happened even in the daylight. It was good weather, and we're neighbors. We know what the problem is, but it's gotten out of hand. And the reason I did this was to stop anybody from getting hurt. It's not a vengeance against anybody or anything like that, but this needs correction. When those cars are parked on Barrington Court, just north of the intersection, and somebody's pulling in, say they came off Raccoon Road, they're coming in, and they want to turn into Barrington Court, that car blocks the view. Because it happened to me twice. I was looking at that, and you can't see somebody coming the other way. I don't want to have an accident there, especially if people are coming in that aren't familiar with that area, that shouldn't have happened. So I would really like, if you could make no parking on that one side, I mean the east side, where the fire hydrant is, and that would eliminate, I think, any problems. I understand that it'll impact the two people that live on the corner, that live on Barrington Drive. They could resolve their own problems. They have short driveways. Each one can only park 2 cars in the driveway. They each have a double car garage, which could park 2 more cars in that garage, but both garages are full. So I understand they have a problem, but they also have a solution. And their solution will make our neighborhood safer. Thank you.
Here we go. Petition to receive 7 out of 10 parcel owners on Barrington Court to consider no parking on the fire hydrant side of this township road.
It's already moved and seconded.
Yeah.
Mrs. Deaver? Yes. Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Motion to open bids for 3 stormwater projects.
I have, there are 10 bids here. First one is Z-Tech Builders of Portland, Ohio. Their bid is $328,153. And I have a bid bond as part of the proposal. This is Pollard Land Services of Gerard, PA. $366,672. And I have a bid bond. Rudzik Excavating of Struthers, Ohio. $336,465. And I have a bid bond. David Ritchie of Mineral Ridge, DNR Landscaping Excavating. $426,778. And I have the bid bond, Mr. President. Marucci and Gaffney Excavating of Youngstown, Ohio. I have a bid bond. And their bid is $379,822.50. Eclipse Company of Chagrin Falls, Ohio. $331,058.18. And I have a bid bond. The Aryan Brothers Construction of Columbiana, Ohio. $379,291.80. And I have a bid bond. SET Incorporated of Lowellville. $380,381.41. And I have the bid bond. JS Bova Excavating of Struthers, Ohio. $380,303.60. And there's a bid bond. Is this utility, I think, contracting? Utility contracting, Meridian Road, Youngstown. $414,872.80. And I have a bid bond. No action, you'll a recommendation to you next meeting.
At this time, police chief?
The only thing I'd like to add is, over the past couple days or past week, we had some cars being broke into in the restaurants and hotels down in the 46 and 80 area. We arrested one subject and his girlfriend for breaking into a few of the cars. Where I want to go is Cracker Barrel had some cars broken into 2-3 days in a row. After they stole the purses out of the cars, they went up to Walmart, bought PlayStations, like whatever PlayStation is, returned them for $500, whatever. Well, they did it again. The third time they did it, our guys went up to Walmart and waited for them, got them. They were from Columbus. And where I'm going here with the public is if you're gonna leave your purse in the car, put it in the trunk, don't leave it on front seat or your wallet or anything that makes people want to break into it.
Chief Frost?
I'm asking for a motion to approve client service agreement between Austintown Fire EMS Department and Medicom Management Incorporated, who will provide billing services for emergency medical services provided by the Austintown Fire Department. Basically what it is we have to have somebody get Medicare, Medicaid numbers for us, and we'd like to enter in. This is who everyone else in the area uses, and we would like to put a contract with them to do that services for us.
What's the service cost us?
It's a percentage of the billing, so there's no money up front. It's a percentage. I think it's 7% to start off with, and it would lessen after. It's just to get things up and running.
Second.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mrs. Jeter?
Yes. Zoning, Darren?
I would ask the board to approve a nuisance resolution on Ohio Vice Code 505.87, restrict following properties of public nuisance. 5301 76 Drive, miscellaneous junk and debris, and the windows within the building have all been broken. That's a vacant building. That's on the south side of 76 Drive, going towards the back entrance of the Racino. 2434 Amberley Street, that's a vacant house. The grass hasn't been cut yet. 3886 Ascot Court, 3908 Berkey, and 4677 Berkey, junk and debris. 590 Carlin Drive, junk and debris, and that's also a vacant house, high grass. 850 Compass West, that's the corporate office for Compass West, but litter and debris on the west side of the property. 4177 Crum Road, junk and debris. 3816 and 4576 Kirk Road, yard waste. 3615 High Meadow Drive, refrigerator in the driveway. 84 Cleaver, junk and debris. 4450 Mahoning and 4470 Mahoning. Once again, the retention ponds need the trash and litter removed. Mahoney Avenue, I forgot to put the address on, but the former mobile station. Obviously, it's vacant. There's a lot of trash and litter along the east property line by the highway. Cut grass. 55 South Main Street, junk and debris. 267 Parkgate, another vacant home, high grass and weeds. 54 Pineview Drive, junk. 3394 Sandalwood and 3426 Sandalwood, trash and debris. The trash bags we cleaned last week. They were at the curb, they were torn, and it was raw garbage. And I had concerns about rats, so I already removed that. 4322 Timberbrook Yard Waste. 432 Westgate, junk and debris. 2159 Woodland Trace, the tree that fell. We're going to remove it, and the property owner doesn't. 4246 Woodmere, junk and debris. And then, in addition, I didn't have time to put them on that list. 170 and 269 Islewood, debris at the curb. 276 North Road, debris at the curb, and 2444 Redgate, trash throughout the property, including used tires.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaver?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Ask the board to approve a motion to find the following motor vehicles meet all of the following criteria. 3 model years or older, apparently inoperable, and extensively damaged, including but not limited to any of the following: missing wheels, tires, engine, or transmission, and declare the following vehicles public nuisances on the Ohio Bicycle Code 505.871, and order the removal of junk vehicles within 14 days after notice of search of the property owner. Once again, going back to 5301 76 Drive, an inoperable and unlicensed blue bus with a 4010H decal parked in exposed manner within the parking lot. I cannot tell what kind of bus that is because the front and back are dismantled, and all the windows are broken and clearly it's 4544 Woodridge, a Pontiac Fiera with a fire license plate, CMA 8630, parked in exposed manner within the driveway, and 6006 Yorktown Lane. This has been another vacant home. An inoperable Ford with expired license plate, GUZ 1361, parked in exposed manner within the driveway.
So, second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaver?
Yes.
All I have.
That's all you have. Park Department, Todd.
Today I picked up the concert schedules for this year's summer concert series. We'll have them at the Stacy Pavilion and distributed throughout the township. Plus they will be on billboards on 46 for the schedule. We'll have a large sign put out tomorrow for the concert schedule. We start Tuesday, June 6th from 7 to 8:30, and that'll be June 6th through August 29th. And then our September 5th through the 26th concerts will be from 6 to 7:30. That way we don't run into darkness issues with last year. Plus, it'll also be on the park Facebook page and the township website. I contacted Steve said this morning, he'll put it out both together during the next day or so. Farmers Market, that'll start May 6th and go every other Saturday at the Pavilion from 9 to 2. End of last week, we put up the pickleball nets and tennis courts, so they're now open. Splash pads should be open second or third week of May. I'll announce that on the Facebook page, our Facebook page, the day that we open that. The Men's Garden Club met last Tuesday, and I will be meeting with the president tomorrow morning. They are going to volunteer to do all of our landscaping down at the new deck at the pond that was put in last year. They're going to do all the landscaping around the deck. And, so I imagine they're going to make that pretty nice. I'm excited about that. And that's all I have.
Todd, did you check on, are we able to do both the market and the concerts on the billboard?
Yes.
We're good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Senior Center isn't here. Lori.
I have no reports, but I also just want to let you know that the auditors showed up today. So they should be here on and off, probably about a month it takes them, give or take, depending on if they have questions or anything. So that's starting, they may reach out with questions. I know they'll send a few emails. And that's it.
Motion to approve March report submitted to the board earlier in the month, A through E.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
This is what earlier what Mike was talking about. Motion to approve resolution prohibiting the use of engine brakes on motor vehicles on designated roads within the township.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes. And Mike, on to that question, it's gonna get this one, or 2025? For the wall? The wall. Yeah.
That's for 2025.
Yeah.
Motion to approve advances from general fund to $110,000 to Lighting District.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Sandler?
Yes.
Mr. Cattrick?
Yes.
Motion to approve transfer from general fund $66,670 to communication equipment.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sandler?
Yes.
Mr. Cattrick?
Yes.
Mrs. Weaver?
Yes. Motion to approve update audit agreement to include all departments provided by Ohio Auditor of State Keep Favors Office for $100,000.
So moved.
No.
Yes, second. Mr. Cattrick?
No.
Seconded. No one seconded.
No. Motion to approve service order from the Verizon for vehicle tracking engine connect data dual all dash cam for 25 road and park vehicles at $49.90 per vehicle, totaling $14,970 per year to divide by road park funds based on assigned vehicles.
So moved.
I'd like to table this again because we have another bid. Plus, we probably want to talk about policies and procedures on this. So if we can table this and maybe put this on the agenda along with the cemeteries, we can maybe hash some things out and get things in line. Since we got another bid on this as well.
I motion to table it.
I would without dash cams anyway. Never be able to drink.
I motion to table it.
Yeah, second.
Mr. Cattrick?
Yes.
Mrs. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Sandler?
No.
Whether to request a hearing of notice to legislate authority new permit to Family Dollar Store of Ohio LLC do business at Family Dollar Store, 31173, 4450 Mahoning Avenue, Austintown Township, Youngstown, Ohio, 44515, permit number 263-12758-750, permit class C1.
No objection.
Second. Wrong move, sorry.
Second.
Mr. Santos? Mrs. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Cattrick?
Yes.
Normally at this time, we would have public response, but we've already done that. So we'll go remarks from the board members, and I'll start with you, Steve.
I don't got too much. I just hopefully everybody had a great Easter since we didn't show up. Don't forget to clean up for the 9/11 this Saturday at 9 a.m. in our farmers market on May 6th. That's it.
I want to give a special shout out to the fire department and police department that showed up for the Sleep in Heavenly Peace bed build. We had here in the parking lot about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. They did about 20 beds. That's all their amount of wood that was donated, but they did it really quick. They did it very fast and effective. I mean, even though the carpenter bees were very ferocious, they weren't even giving us a second. As soon as we drill that hole in that wood, they're right in there. But they did a phenomenal job. Thank you. They're obviously both chiefs for allowing them to come out there and help out. We appreciate that. We got our movie nights. All but one I'm allowed to say what the movie is, but I guarantee you it'll be super. So if you guys don't know, on June 3rd, it'll be The Bad Guys. June 17th will be The Goonies. July 15th will be Luca. July 29th will be Mitchell versus the Machines. August 12th will be Ghostbusters Afterlife. And August 12th, due to the whole movie copyright, at this time we can't say what that movie is, but it'll be a super one, so that's all I can say. Obviously the time that it's going to be will be, it'll get earlier. Obviously we want to wait till the sun starts going down, but I mean it's summer. It'll be a great time, so whatever we can do to get the kids out of their house, I'll definitely be there. It'll be fun. So other than that, that's all I have.
Well, I have a few good things I want to talk about. The sign on Route 11, I got the donations for that. We got $6,000 from wait a minute, I'm sorry. We got from Brylex Industries, we got $6,000. Hollywood Gaming, we got $5,000. Boat and Sons, we got $6,000. Greenwood Chevrolet, we got $5,000, among others, and this will not be coming out of our general fund. So we will have those road signs on Route 11. They should be starting when, Darren?
Soon, the foundation at least.
And
The
then-
aluminum.
I have been on sending emails to our commissioners, and I got notice today that they will be helping us with the culverts. I have the paper here, and it says, "Dear trustees, on behalf of the Board of Mahoney County Commissioners, we would like to take this opportunity to thank you for submitting your proposal for the American Rescue Plan Act funding. The commissioners are honored to have the opportunity to utilize their funds for this benefit of our community. However, the funding, which has been made available by the U.S. Treasury Department, comes with federal guidance that must be taken into consideration when determining allowances. We have received your request for the funding for Austintown Stormwater Project in the light of the guidance provided by the U.S. Treasury Department. Based upon this guidance, we are happy to inform you that we are able to provide support that you requested. The Board of Mahoney County Commissioners has selected your project to move forward in the amount of $348,000 for the above-mentioned project. The Special Projects Office will be contacting you in the coming weeks for related information that may be needed to complete this award agreement. Cordially, the Board of Mahoney County Commissioners, Dave Ditchler, Anthony Trapicani, and Carol Rigetti. I want to thank them very much. We will get help with the culverts."
I sent them like a total of 10 emails.
I
So
sent-
I'm glad that they did that. I'm glad the collective effort that we both were able to do.
Yes, we both.
All right, and we should be getting an answer from Representative Albuchona as well, to be able to assist with that as well. And
So that was great. That was a great two things that I feel that was much needed for today's meeting. Also, I want to congratulate our band. Jazz earned first place when they were out in, where'd they go? Norfolk. Symphony Band got third place in silver medal. Marching Band earned the award for the best marching in the parade. So kudos to them. And I wish everybody a nice night. That's all I have to say. I need a motion to recess the executive session for the following A and B.
So moved.
second.
Mr. Stanfield?
Yes.
Mrs. Beaver?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
So do we want to come up with a date before?